Are you weary of dull small talk that goes nowhere? It's not as challenging as you might imagine to ignite her interest. Once you master the art of making small talk engaging and flirtatious, your dating life will become significantly more captivating. There's no need to focus on memorizing witty lines or searching for intriguing conversation openers. The content of your words isn't the key. It's all about the emotions you evoke in her. So let go of the notion that you need a particular line to trigger attraction. Attraction can be sparked with a straightforward hello, because it's about the emotions you evoke in her, not the precise words you utter. So, what's the secret to igniting a woman's passion through casual conversation? The crucial factor in arousing her without appearing unsettling or overly friendly is for you to genuinely feel the attraction yourself. She should sense your desire for her in your tone of voice, your eye contact, your proximity, and your deliberate speech, as it becomes evident that you're thoroughly relishing the moment. Here's a simple approach that women truly appreciate. Depending on the context, skip the small talk entirely, and instead, be straightforward and honest about your intentions. Let her know exactly what you're aiming for. One common error many men make is feigning friendliness when they desire romance and intimacy. Instead, express your genuine romantic interest by offering a sincere compliment. This approach showcases your confidence and your willingness to be vulnerable, demonstrating the courage to be straightforward and honest, even if there's a chance of rejection. And if she does decline, remember, there are plenty of other women out there. Believe me, women are drawn to the genuine, authentic you. They have no interest in encountering a pickup artist employing manipulative tricks and tactics. That's their biggest concern, being manipulated into a romantic encounter. What they truly desire is a connection with the real you, the authentic version. If you approach her because she's attractive, it's evident that this should be your primary motivation for starting the conversation, without any unnecessary detours. Think about it. How appealing is a guy who engages in pointless chatter and pretends not to be interested? Instead, be upfront about your attraction. There's no need to be timid or needy. It's all about conveying your interest in a confident and genuine manner, which can be incredibly enticing. Occasionally, it's not feasible to directly express your attraction to a woman depending on the circumstances. Some settings simply don't warrant it, such as at work, in church, during your grandma's 90th birthday celebration, or when you're in an elevator with someone. It can come across as awkward to suddenly turn to them and say, "Hey, you're quite attractive." As Michael Machalo once wisely noted, attending to the world around you will enable you to develop the remarkable ability to find wonder in everyday things. Instead of simply observing, try making a comment about something in your surroundings or an item of clothing someone is wearing. You can become quite adept at this by forming a habit of initiating conversations with virtually anyone, using your observations to sharpen this skill. For instance, perhaps you've noticed that the price of your favorite cookies has increased since your last purchase. You can casually mention this to someone nearby, which could lead to more extensive discussions about cookies, pricing, or even the economy. And just like that, you've initiated a conversation. And if the other person doesn't respond, no big deal. Not everyone is eager for a conversation. So, the fundamental question remains: how can you ensure that your small talk doesn't turn awkward or make her uncomfortable, but rather fosters a genuine connection? Consider the sage advice of Atticus, who said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Small talk isn't a platform for self-promotion. Its purpose lies in swiftly establishing a connection where she feels at ease and inclined to share, even if only a bit. Initially, you might need to take the conversational lead in the first minute or two, but eventually let her shine as the central figure. As she gradually reveals more about herself, a deeper connection will naturally form. Trust me, getting a woman to open up about herself doesn't require complex strategies. It's as straightforward as posing considerate follow-up questions. Look for the motivations or emotions behind her actions. For instance, if she mentions that she originally hails from Texas but recently relocated to Los Angeles, don't stop there. Delve deeper to uncover what inspired such a significant move. What's even more effective is to make an assumption, as you've probably heard that people enjoy discussing themselves. This is undoubtedly accurate. However, what they appreciate even more is hearing others' perspectives about them, particularly what people think. So, Instead of simply asking why she moved to LA, you could playfully suggest, "I bet you moved to LA to pursue an acting career. Am I right?" You have this artistic, creative aura about you. If you happen to be correct, she'll likely be thoroughly impressed. If not, she'll kindly set the record straight, while still providing you with the accurate answer. Questions like these and making assumptions effectively penetrate the superficial small talk, enabling you to genuinely comprehend and form a connection with her. As Nozer Kanga aptly put it, positive thoughts, words, and actions generate positive feelings. Positive feelings generate positive energy. Here's a little secret. Flirty energy acts like a magnet. Regardless of how mundane the conversation topic may seem, infusing it with flirty energy will make it captivating and engaging for her. For instance, if you meet a girl at the mall and approach her with a compliment and an introduction, instead of simply asking, "What are you doing?" you could put a flirty spin on it. "Apart from charming guys like me, what's keeping you occupied right now?" She might playfully respond, "Who's hitting on who here?" To which you could reply, "Well, yeah, you're right. But your outfit leaves no choice. I couldn't just walk by without saying something. It's practically your fault that I came over." Notice how this approach is much more vibrant and flirtatious than bombarding her with a string of dull questions. So instead of bombarding her with a relentless stream of fact-finding and information-seeking questions, consider this. I understand we tend to be logical beings as men, and that's our default approach. This is precisely why it's essential to incorporate some playful, enjoyable, and flirtatious banter into your interactions. Trust me, my friend, she'll become captivated and eager to engage in reciprocal flirtation. Remember Wayne Gretzky's famous words, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Hence, make it a practice to interact with as many people as possible. The discomfort associated with small talk, whether it's during your initial approach or on a date, will gradually fade as you become better prepared. The most effective way to prepare is by practicing in low-pressure situations. As I mentioned earlier, make it a habit to initiate conversations with anyone and everyone, whether it's the barista at Starbucks, your waiter, or while waiting in line at the grocery store. There's usually someone in front of you, and possibly someone behind you. By practicing with these individuals, you'll gradually notice your comfort level increasing, whether it's with the cashier, your neighbor, or the bouncer at your favorite bar. This growing comfort and self-assuredness will naturally extend to your interactions with attractive women you're interested in, or when you go on dates. Your newfound calm confidence will be perceptible, making her more inclined to open up and actively participate in the conversation. Lastly, always remember to extend an invitation, even if you didn't immediately express your intentions candidly, perhaps due to the unusual context like being seated next to each other on an airplane, which can indeed be a bit unusual. Securing a girl's contact information after a casual conversation conveys your genuine interest in her. Seize every opportunity to engage socially, and don't hesitate to request her Instagram or other social media details or go directly for her phone number, leaving no doubt that you intend to reconnect. If she opts not to share her contact information, don't fret. Look at it as valuable practice instead. Suppose you approach her with candid sincerity, whether it's a spontaneous encounter at a bar or during daylight hours. In such cases, consider whether she's available at that very moment and embark on an impromptu date together. Keep in mind that in typical everyday situations, you can skip the superficial chit-chat entirely and instead opt for direct honesty. This not only saves you considerable time, but also illustrates that you're a man who pursues his desires without hesitation. In alternative scenarios where she takes a seat beside you, initiating the interaction with some light conversation remains a viable approach. This can potentially evolve into a deeper connection, perhaps even leading to an intimate relationship, provided your body language and actions eventually convey your interest. It's advisable to do this sooner rather than later to avoid getting relegated to the friend zone. To progress, continue elevating the connection you've established by asking more profound and intimate questions. Employ thoughtful follow-up inquiries to unearth the motivations and emotions driving her interests. Don't overlook the power of making assumptions, as everyone enjoys hearing about themselves. And remember to infuse a flirty twist into the conversation. transitioning from a platonic vibe to something considerably more intimate.